Laura's birthday started with a leisurely breakfast in the kitchen of her little house on the north side of Dublin. She had treated herself to a croissant, a cinnamon bun and a large cup of coffee, topped with frothy milk from the Nespresso machine she had bought as a present to herself the day before. Wrapped in her dressing gown, she shivered as she stared out the window into the tiny garden, where a robin was pecking at the ground looking for a worm. The sky was overcast with the promise of rain. Dublin was cold and dreary in the beginning of February, and Laura longed to get away from this city, the traffic and noise. It would be so nice to be somewhere less hectic, where people had the time to enjoy life. She was startled out of her reverie when her phone rang. Without thinking, she picked it up and answered it straight away. "Hello?"
"Laura Kane."
"Speaking," she said, frowning at the deep voice she faintly recognised.
"Hello?" the man said. "This is Michael Monaghan, Josephine's son. We've met a few times while you were caring for my mother, and at the funeral, of course."
Yes, of course I remember you, Michael," Laura said, the image of Josephine's son drifting into her mind. Tall, blonde and pale, with a serious expression. He was not a bit like his beautiful, vivacious mother, who had been in Laura's care for the past 2 years. A former opera singer with a colourful past, Josephine had been a delightful contrast to Laura's usual patience, and they had formed a close bond during those 2 years. Her death had been expected, but still felt like a terrible loss for Laura.
"It was a sad day," he said.
"Very sad. How are you?" Laura added. She absent-mindedly twirled a lock of her wild curls while she tried to find the right words to express some kind of sympathy. But all the anger she had felt during Josephine's last years bubbled to the surface. She had only met Michael a handful of times. His visits to his mother had been so rare. "I'm sure you're still trying to cope with your loss," she said, having to force out the words.
Well, yeah, of course. I'm doing my best," Michael replied. "But she was 96 after all, and not very well."
Laura was taken aback. "Yes, but still," she said, "it's always sad to lose a parent." She made a face at herself in the little mirror on the opposite wall, her bright blue eyes flashing with sudden anger. She had been told she had a bold face when she was a small child. Well, she felt very bold right now. He had just lost his mother, and all he could say was that she was very old, as if her death had been a relief.